Story time! Today I'm going to talk about all the super embarrassing things that I've done on stage as a singer in my 10 years of performing, so that you all can feel better about going out on stage and not making the same mistakes that I did. A great place to start would be my first ever singing recital. Things to know about me: I used to suffer from the most horrendous stage fright ever. To be fair, I still do sometimes get super nervous. I don't know what it is. No matter how many times I do it, I don't know if it's because I care so much about it, but it makes me really nervous getting up on stage. My first ever performance, I was shaking. If you had spoken to me before I got on stage, I don't think I would have been verbal. I was 14, I'd been doing singing lessons for half a year maybe. My singing teacher said that I have to get up on stage for a recital at the end of the term or whatever. The song that we chose to do was Can You Feel the Love Tonight off The Lion King. I put myself in the cutest little white dress. I had curled my hair like Taylor Swift. They had like all the chairs set out and stuff like that. The audience was full, of course, of excited parents to see how their kids had gone, my parents being some of them. Started singing the song, it was going really well until I got to the second verse, where I got into my own head and realized that I forgot the words. So what did I do as a 14-year-old girl in the cutest little white dress, looking pure as hell? I stopped and I said shit in front of everyone. People giggled. I then realized that I said shit, so I said fuck, and then looked out. The music was going. The chorus came around and I was like, can you feel love tonight? And we nailed the rest of the performance, but I will never live that down. My parents thought that it was hilarious. My mum was mortified, and like I saw her slide into her chair. She's also a teacher, so her daughter at the school she was teaching at just said shit and then fuck straight after. Another super embarrassing performance story of mine would have been when I got asked to play or to sing the national anthem at a football match. It was a great honour. It was my local football team's. It was on Anzac Day in Australia. So I was having to do this a cappella. We do a minute of silence on Anzac Day. So the organiser told me that we were going to do the minute of silence. She would give me a nod, and then immediately after I would begin singing the national anthem of Australia, for those who can't pick the accent. I was standing next to a war veteran. We're doing our minute of silence together. Everyone was sitting around in all of the chairs around the football field. It was great. During that minute of silence, I was like, I'm going to spend this time singing the song through in my head. Bad choice. I got in my own head. I got to the second verse of the national anthem and I forgot. I forgot the words. If you had filmed me, the red would have just risen. I started getting a rash on my chest. I started to get bright red in the face because I could not, for the life of me, remember the words. Minute of silence ended and I did a, great job with the first verse. I then made up the words of the second verse. I made like a remix of the Australian national anthem and just basically repeated the first verse again, and then finished with a really big nice note at the end, and everyone applauded, was really happy. I came off that football field almost in tears. I was so embarrassed, and I went over and just like sat by myself, and this woman came up to me and was like, Michaela, that was the best we've ever had. That was absolutely beautiful. And then I realized that I don't think anyone knows the second verse of the national anthem, so it was fine. I had a show with my old band, and it was our first show playing this particular song, and I was quite nervous about it because it was quite vocally tolling. I nailed the song, absolutely nailed it. The end of the song had a really big note that I had to hold for a really long time, so I had to get a good breath in. I had my eyes closed, I held it, it took all of my diaphragm and the whole thing just to finish this note, and then I went to open my eyes and I couldn't. I couldn't get my eyes open because my fake eyelashes that I'd stuck on before I got on stage had actually stuck together. So I was like trying to open my eyes. It's fine. I'm just a girl. In terms of embarrassing things that have happened to me when I first began, I like to work with rather than goal numbers and stuff like that when it comes to performing goal venues. And we got the opportunity, my ex-Joy partner and I, to play one of my goal venues. It was only really small, but it was a club I used to go to when I was younger as like a 18-year-old, go out on the town partier, and they used to have really good live music there. And so when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, this is where I want to play. This is where I used to go all the time to go out drinking and stuff like that. And we actually got asked to play a set there one Friday night. We knew about this show months in advance. I was so excited. I was so well rehearsed. I had my outfit all ready to go. We were good. The day of the gig, I was eating my chicken salad. We were good to go. On the way to the venue, I started to feel my stomach turn. During our first set, because we had 2 sets of 45 minutes, my stomach was just churning. I felt like I was going to be sick the whole time. It was absolutely horrendous. I managed to make it through, but it was not comfortable. And during the break, I went to the bathroom and I threw up my guts all over the place, and I came out to my duo partner. I was like, dude, I think I have fucking food poisoning. He was like, okay, so do we like cancel the set or something? Like, what do we do about this? And I was like, no, this is my goal. This is my goal venue. We have to finish what we started. So like a trooper, I got back up on stage for the second set and I finished the set. And then I went home and I didn't leave bed for like 2 days. I felt so ill. But that was a perfect example of the show must go on. There are obviously always like little embarrassing moments. I forget the words all the time when I'm on stage and I just make them up, or I ooh and I ah and people can't even tell the difference. But I guess this is just my sign to anyone who is new to getting out and performing, or has been playing an instrument, or wants to get out on stage. Just do it. I've been doing it for over 10 years now, and it still gets scary, but the thrill you get afterwards, there is nothing you can compare to the post-gig buzz. I always forget about it until I get off stage, and as soon as I get off stage, I'm like, I must remember this feeling, because I have to get back up there again.